Good morning. Good morning. Are everybody able to hear me? Okay, we'll wait for a few minutes till everybody joins. Right now, around 19 people have joined. 12 people have joined. Okay, in the meantime, I just want people who have already joined the session. What were your expectations on? I just want some feedbacks on how this online sessions can be made even more, what to say, interesting or even more important, right? So I'm open for any suggestions. You can suggest something that you found good in other online sessions with other teachers so that I can also incorporate. Hello? Anybody can respond. Yes, Pranit, tell me. All right. So today we're going to start with the new module, module 4. Okay. And module 4 is an elaborate module where we try to discuss on the different viewpoints of Juran. Okay. As we all know, in the first module, we had a opportunity to discuss the various management gurus who have guided as well as modeled the way in which management works today, right? And one among them, the most influential of all of them was Juran, right? And yeah, you can also Google about Juran and try to find out what was his background, what kind of a work has he done. Okay, so today's class would involve around the topic of continuous improvement, right? And we all know that TQM is about continuous improvement. Okay, so today we will try to ponder over what Juran meant by continuous improvement in his various different talks which are documented, and there is a handbook that has been developed, right? So we will just look into the various different factors that are part of this particular Juran's model of how to build quality in products, right? Okay, that being said, what happened? Only 15 participants are viewing, are available. What about the rest of them? Gallery view, okay. Why only 15 participants are there? What about the rest of them? See, I've been allowing students to join with the intention that I don't want anybody to miss out on any of the topics that has been discussed. If people are not joining at the specified time, I will log the meeting and I'll ensure that nobody else is able to join the meeting. You have to be serious, right? When we are talking about a course as well as a subject which is about continuous improvement, there has to be some kind of ethics that needs to be followed, right? A lot of people are still in the waiting rooms. I don't understand. This is not fair. Please communicate in the WhatsApp. Yeah. Anybody has to say something? Come on. I'm not just here to talk. I want sessions to be interactive. Come on. Okay. Let's make this little more what to say, understandable. Okay. I just want people to respond to a few questions that I'm going to ask. Okay. What do you mean by improvement? It's a simple English word. What do you mean by improvement? Anybody? Manasa, Prithvi.
So, enhancing the quality and quantity.
Oh, those are technical words. Okay. I just want you to explain me what you mean by improvement. Take any example and then tell me what is called as improvement. There are so many things that has improved, right? In your course of your growth from your child to now, you have come across something where some things have improved. Can you tell me what has improved with examples? Simple examples, something like some roads were bad when 10 year 4 years back, and now the roads are improved. That means the way they build these roads have improved, the quality of the roads have improved. That's an example of improvement, right? We used to have roads that used to be very bad, now we have roads which are good, so that's an improvement. So like that, I want different people to give me different examples of what you call as improvement. Come on, join the discussion. One example, each one of you. Any examples? It could be as simple as, sir, I used to go to a bakery and take buns. The quality of the buns were not good. Now the quality have improved. Yeah. So that could be an example of improvement. As simple as that.
Hospitals and also before there was no proper treatment. Now we can get everything in proper time and all.
Good. Okay. That's an example of improvement. Anybody else? Kavana, Likita, Kirtiraj, Renuka. I want everybody to give one example of what is meant by improvement. It could be places, it could be products, it could be anything, it could be behavior. Improvement. Come on, Amit Bharadwaj. Yeah, Rahul, you have to say something?
No, sir.
Nothing. You have never come across anything that has improved in your life? Is that what you want to say by the word no? Okay, for the people who joined in off late, we were starting to have a small discussion on what is called as improvement, and we were trying to look into what has improved, examples of where things have improved. Karthik, Jaren, all right, yeah, please tell me.
Technology, like phones, anything. It increases.
Okay. Well, I think there are some network issues. I'm not able to hear you properly, but still, that's fine. Okay, so what I wanted to basically uh, come to a point using the examples what was, okay, uh, there are ways in which you can interpret the word called improvement, okay, and improvement could have happened overnight. Improvement could have happened over a period of time, okay. When the improvement happens overnight, we call it as probably a breakthrough improvement, a breakthrough change that has happened, okay. And if the improvement happens over a long period of time, we say it as an incremental improvement or a continuous improvement or whatever it called to be, right? Yeah, so you can always relate to a lot of experiences in each of your individual lives where things have improved, right? It could be something stable, and there could be something that also have improved. So something like you go to a hotel, have that, okay, every day, like our canteen. Has there been an improvement in our canteen?
Yes, sir.
Is it continuous or incremental or a breakthrough? What is the improvement that has happened? Come on, by the what to say experience that I had for a very few days that have been called after the canteen is open, comparing with the experience that we used to have with the canteen that was there on the ground floor on the same building, okay, there has been a phenomenal or even a breakthrough improvement in the quality of quality as well as the experience of going to a canteen, right? Yeah. So what I wanted to say here is, in the context of a organization which produces various different kinds of, it could be products or services, growth is a strategy which drives each organization. If they don't improve, then all of the previous topics that we have learned about regarding customers and experience to the customer that is going to delight him and all, would not be appreciable. For what I essentially want to communicate is something like this. A good example would be, uh, okay, these I mean I usually I'm a foodie, right? So I go around trying to find out the best places where you can have some good food, right? And there are certain places where I very go frequently, right? Okay, and there is one place where the quality of the food was not good, and I gave him some feedback about what could be the change that can happen to make the food more what palatable or something like that. Okay, and he actually took my suggestions and then made certain changes, and now what to say he's making better food, okay. Now what happened is, forget me, and I gave a suggestion and he took the suggestion, and then he improved upon the service that he was providing. Now what happens is, when a new customer walks in into his what to say restaurant, okay, he is going to experience a different kind of an experience that I had, right? Because the first experience of mine was not so good. I gave him suggestions. He incorporated the suggestions and made changes to the process. And now a new customer who walks in, probably I was not a satisfied customer, but a new customer who walks in into the restaurant would be a happy customer, right? Yeah. Now that being the case, okay, uh, if I walk in into the same restaurant again, or the new customer who was happy with the product walks in into the same hotel again, expectations of each one of us is going to be different, and it's not going to be the same. For example, you were having normal dosas in that store, and then he one day he changed the dosa to a ghee dosa or a butter dosa, and the taste was phenomenal. You all had, I mean, imagine that you all had masala dosa now, and then it had a lot of ghee and all. It was crispy, and you really enjoyed it. So that experience gave you a feeling that you can rate that particular restaurant as a very good restaurant, and you were more than happy, right? You were not only satisfied, you were at the verge of delightment with the product. Now, okay, once you went, you had the food, you were happy. Okay. Second time you went, okay, it was happy. But the third time when you go back to the same restaurant, your expectations has increased rather than being at the same point, right? If he gives the same butter dosa the next time, your level of satisfaction is going to be less when compared to the experience that you had beforehand, right? Now, the takeaway point from all this suggestions, examples that I give and that I have given is, in a customer's viewpoint, okay, the expectations keeps increasing and the expectations keeps changing, right? So this is a very, very important aspect that every organization which builds products must keep in mind. Okay, you can't keep preparing the same kind of process and product and expect the customer to provide a same kind of a feedback or the same kind of experience that he had the first time he used the product. For example, biscuits, right? If what to say, biscuits are given in the same shape and same taste, probably you'd stop eating the biscuit. They also keep changing. Of course, it's still the same. What to say, clarified butter and uh, refined flour mixed together with sugar and then baked, right? But having a different shape to it, adding a little flavor to it, adding a little cream inside or something like that. This change has to happen. So as they keep saying, the change is the only thing that will keep, which is constant, right? So that needs to happen for every, excuse me. I think there was something problem with my speakers. Yeah, I hope my speakers are also okay now. Okay. Yeah. So what I was trying to communicate here was, it's very important for organizations to remember what the customer wants and keep doing an improvement on what he is expecting, right? So now I'm going to share with you some of the points that I want to discuss with you people today. Okay. So this is the presentation on Joseph Moses Juran's experiences and his, what to say, he came up with a trilogy. Okay, so we will discuss what each of these is, right? So who is Joseph? Joseph is a what to say, management guru, right? And then he was born in December 24th, 1904, and then he graduated from Minneapolis, South High. Okay, bachelor degree from Electrical Engineering, University of Minnesota, and then he is a founder of the Institute of Juran Institute. Okay, which is a very popular institute for management. Okay, now, that said, he spoke about what to say. quality. He's a quality guru or a management guru, and he spoke about quality. Okay, so what he means by quality is those features of products which meet customers' needs and thereby provide customer satisfaction, right? So he spoke about quality as those features of a product which meets these requirements and thereby which provides him customer satisfactions. Okay. He also meant that he also meant that quality means freedom from deficiencies. We'll work more about this because that is the core of this particular discussion. Deficiencies of products, okay, or errors that can happen in the during the process of development or in the product itself, right? Which leads to what? Dissatisfaction, and in turn it could be even be what to say, monetarily harmful for the product, because there could be some claims by customers on the inadequacy of the product to satisfy the promises the product made when during the selling or the purchase, right? So in a sense, quality is oriented towards cost and high quality. Okay, less cost means was the quality. We try to experience quality through the cost. Okay, now this is very important, and it's important for the examination point of view also. Juren's trilogy. Okay, so what Juren as a management guru was, he developed a trilogy. So trilogy is an English word that tries to relate between what to say, different three different try means three aspects which put together can what to say, determine how the whole organization is expected to work, right? So he basically coined these three, not basic coined, okay, he put the whole TQM management under three different headings. One is called as quality planning, quality improvement, and quality control. It's very important, and there is a graph which we will see in a few minutes that will try to explain what these three is about, right? So through our what to say experience till now about discussions on customers and various different expectations of the customers, okay, um, we have learned that different kinds of or to say customers have different kinds of expectations on different kinds of products, right? But when I say in the field of quality, okay, continuous improvement is the what to say, the only way in which you can get customer satisfaction, right? So uh, another important aspect when I look into the quality aspect is the involvement of people. Okay, very very important aspect, where if the people who are involved in the process of development of a product are not aware of what they are what to say expected to achieve, then the product will not be able to deliver the kind of what to say efficiency with which the intent it was built with. Okay, and it's very important that the people who are involved in the process of development of the product are integrated and aligned with the organization strategy. If they are not aligned and if they're not being made part of the what is the organization strategy, then the work that they do will may not lead to the achievement of the organization's objectives. Okay, and next important the process of development of a product, a certain team of people will try to elicit information from a customer, and then based on customers information, a requirement strategy will be done. And then once you have understood that these are the requirements of the customer, you pass it on this particular what to say requirements or needs of the customer to a development team, and that development team is going to develop a process to develop a product. Okay, and then the final product will be tested whether it is fulfilling the needs of the product, and all those this process is there. Now in all these things, decisions are based on facts, right? Decisions are based on facts, using data and information to support evaluation and decision making. Okay, so there are a lot of statistical tools that will get involved. Okay, when we talk about based on facts. So we need to really understand if a need is being posted by a customer. If there are, let us say, 100 people who are interacted, and then needs of 100 people were considered, okay, and you can't try to build a product to satisfy the need of one or two customers who have expressed a need for a certain feature. You are basically looking at to satisfy a population which has a need of a population which is being expressed by a bigger population, or more number of people who have expressed that we need this as a feature in the product. That feature would be the most important priority for the organization to fulfill, right? So there are a lot of statistics tools that is required to really understand which is a priority feature and which is not a high priority feature. So you need to, and yeah, so what Juran says is that when you are in the field of quality, and you need to build on your quality, then decisions must be taken based on facts, okay, not on wishes that is being what to say, presumptions, right? This is more important. And when we talk about a business or an enterprise, there has to be a systematic approach to a problem, okay. So there has to be an understanding, a proper coherence of understanding of the requirements view, and then a systematic approach must be there. If you can't take certain what to say, off the box processes and then put them into the what to say, system, and then ask everybody to bring quality into the system, no. There has to be a systematic way in which of course, yeah, to bring systematic way, first of all education should happen, then training should happen, and then what to say, um, streamlining should happen, right? It's not that people, if they are told to do certain work and they do, and there could be technological what to say, deviance. That means, imagine that you had a particular strategy or a technology using which you were doing a job. For example, there were CNC machines long time back also. Now technology has improved and new CNC machines have come, right? So if you're still stuck with the old CNC machines, then you're not actually contributing to the quality. Product is produced, but the new technology can reduce even though you're investing, it can reduce on the cost, it can improve on the processes, it can build safety into the product, it can build safety into the processes that ensure that the employees or the workers who are working on that particular product are safe. There are a lot of things that must be kept in mind. Even more important is the long range view, okay, of the future. If companies don't, what to say, have a prospective view of the future, and then if they are producing products to satisfy today's needs, then they might not survive the competition, right? So there should always be a futuristic view. So there are strategies where you predict a particular what to say, thing that can come up in future, and then you start working from now, or you create the future for a student, for a customer. So there are two different strategies, okay. For something like you have a breakthrough idea and you start working on it, and your future and the future of the whole nation build is on that particular idea. So it could be that kind of a breakthrough idea, or it could be something like you try to see that in the future, whatever comes up, you just adopt that particular technology and start working on it. So there are two different what is the viewpoints on that particular thing. Then very important is very important, and it's like a mantra of total quality management, is prevention, right? And there is always a proverb which says that prevention is better than cure, right? So the cost of overcoming a, what is it, solving a problem after the problem has occurred is higher when compared to the cost that is involved in preventing the problem, right? So something like, if you keep, you have to spend money to keep your premises clean. If you keep your premises clean, the probability of you getting sick will be less. So what is, if at all, if you don't keep your premises clean and if you get sick, okay, then what is going to happen is the problem of what to say, you have to pay a heavy amount of cost at the hospital to get yourself out of that particular situation, right? So these are certain aspects that you have to keep in mind, okay, when we are talking about quality, right? And there are a lot of response, okay, a quick response to customers what to say necessities or grievances is going to ensure that the customer will be loyal to you, right? It has to be fast, okay. Supposedly you go to a hotel and there is something missing, the person has not put chutney in the salt in the chutney, and he has given you the food, okay. So immediately when you go and give a complaint to the manager or the hotel cashier saying that the food is not good, the manufacturer should immediately understand what has gone wrong, and if possible, if he can replace that chutney with the chutney which is properly salted, then he's going to ensure that the customer is, even though unsatisfied, will come back to the restaurant because there was a quick response, right? So that is an important point to keep in. There are other external forces, result orientation, ethics and responsibilities. So there are very many, what to say, waste reduction is very important for that also, right? So we will concentrate more on these three topics, which is quality planning, quality improvement, and quality control. I just want to today show you the graph that we will be discussing in more detail in the next class, right? So we will come down to that. So how to manage quality? So based on the trilogy, he says that quality can be managed using these three concepts of quality planning, quality control, and quality improvement. So what do you mean by quality planning? Okay. Planning is something that you do before you start, isn't it? Something like you, even if you, before you, if the exams are coming up, even before you take your book out, you plan. Means to say you plan on what to read, when to read, how much time to read, how to read. Then you start doing your work which you are supposed to do. So as per plan, you try to execute what you had planned. And when you are actually doing the process, things can go wrong. That's normal, right? That's how nature is there, okay. Things can go wrong, and when things go wrong, okay, you try to assess why it has gone wrong, and then you try to rectify. So, and that rectification happens in improvement. So that is in a nutshell, I have given, try to give you what can happen and how things can be managed, right? So these processes are known as the Juran trilogy, okay. And what is there in planning? You establish your goals, identify who your customers are, determine the needs of the customer, you develop product features, you develop processes that are able to produce the product with those features. Then you establish process controls. You establish, this is what you plan. You want to establish process controls and then transfer those plans to the operating forces, right? So this is what the planning department will do. Now when it comes to the process which has been asked by the process team to do, okay, they actually evaluate once the, what to say, product process has been in or what to say, put to service. They evaluate the actual performance, compare actual performance with the quality goals that were set up, okay. And now if at all there is a difference, the difference could be positive, the difference could be negative. Positive difference is when what to say, and you are not achieved what to say, the goals that you had set. Negative is right, you have achieved more than the goals that you had set out, possible depending on process, okay. And when it comes to improvement, you try to prove the need to establish an infrastructure that, or else because of some problem the error had occurred, and then though the quality control was able to identify, and then you have to put infrastructure, you have to put the what to say, identify places where changes needs to be done. Proper project teams must be established, okay. And not only that, see, when you want to improve, you have to improve strategically, systematically. You need to provide the resources, you need to provide the training, you need to provide the motivation. And motivation to do what? To diagnose and stimulate remedies to establish control, okay. So this is the graph that I was talking about, the Juren's trilogy graph, okay. This is a very important graph which you have to remember and what to say, write in the examination also, along with the explanation of what each one of these is meant to do, right? So what you can see is that this is the place of the planning. So you can see that this is well before the timeline of zero is starting. Okay, this is well before the timeline of zero is starting. Means you plan before you even start your what to say, operations. And once the operation starts, this is a timeline on the x-axis, and what can happen once the operation begins, the scale on the y-axis will change depending upon the concept that we are talking about. Here in this particular case, it will be the scale on deficiency, how much deficiencies what to say will happen when operations begin. Okay, so if I am talking about deficiencies on the y-axis, what is the best possible what to say place where you want to start? If deficiencies, number of deficiencies is on y-axis, and on the x-axis you have time, which is the best place to start? The best place to start would be the origin where you have zero deficiencies. This is the most ideal expectations when you want to say, that means you have planned for something and you want to start producing a product with zero deficiencies, but that does not normally happen, right? Normally happen is, even with a lot of planning that you do, you start with certain deficiencies that are part and parcel of the organizations or development cycles, because there will be always be what to say, processes that can go wrong, processes which are not efficient, and then you start with something. Okay, uh, that being the strategy. So there you can see that there is a graph that has been displayed here, and in the this will be the graph that we will be talking about in the next class also, right? Because we are almost running out of time. I have around 2.5 minutes left. So I'm gonna put a what to say, a prelude to what will be coming up in the next class. So in the next class, we will discuss in detail more about what happens in the planning, what to say, section, what the quality control is going to do, and how the quality improvement is going to ensure that the deficiencies that you're finding here is going to come down. Okay, so what strategies will work? We'll try to put some examples of real life examples, and then we will try to understand what is going on, right? So this being the topic of discussion that we're going to have, because the fourth module is little elaborate, we need more time to discuss. Some of the points are really enjoyable if you all participate. What I really understand here is I'm the only person who is talking. Okay, and all of them are, I hope, have put earphones to your ears. Okay, and then hope that you're listening at least, right? If not, having a what is a constant look into what is happening on screen, at least have, I mean, I want responses. Are you people online? Is everybody online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
good,
sir.
good. Because I can't see you face to face, right? So I don't. I also need motivation to do this on a regular basis without you. I mean, if you people don't log in and or log in and then mute off, okay, and there is no motivation for me to continue. So responses are really required. So kindly respond whenever I ask you to answer any questions. Okay, that set apart, I have the last 1 minute that is there. So I'll quickly take a snap of the number of participants that are there. So only 40 people have joined today. Okay. I don't know what about the rest of them. The class is supposed to be 70 strong. Okay. So 30 more people are missing in the session today. So kindly communicate to all of them who are missing in the class today to join up in the next class. We will discuss more on Jurin's trilogy, and yeah, the discussion will complete. Yeah, probably on Thursday there is going to be a quiz, okay, online quiz, which all of you might will have to take up. All the details I'll share with you, right? All right, the time is almost up. Take care. I hope all of you are safe, okay, and See you in the next class. Bye bye.